Hello and welcome. This is Sunset Park. It's just so beautiful. It's very interesting how the clouds are looming overhead. It looks a little like rain is in the forecast, but wherever we are, we're making the sun shine in our hearts. So, this is a yoga practice for all levels, and I hope you can join as we come find our seat, finding your most comfortable seated position or maybe laying down position. Give you a little closer bird's eye view. And as we come to our most comfortable place, finding your breath. For today's practice, we'll be focusing on nasal breathing. Nasal breathing is where it's at. When we breathe out of our mouth, we lose precious nutrients for our body to thrive and to feel good. So close your mouth, close your eyes, taking out the common senses of sight, but tune into your breath, tune into sensations of hearing. Notice how you breathe. It's your life force. It's the air between your wings to allow you to take flight, to journey through this amazing thing called life. Notice how you breathe out of your right nostril, the flares of your right nostril opening. Notice how you breathe out of your left nostril, flaring the nostril open. Noticing the breath out of both nostrils opening, taking in smells and sounds into your practice and on your mat. Notice how the breath wanders into the spaces between the ribs. Notice the touch sensation of the air on your skin as you breathe into the right sides of your ribs, right nostril, right ribs, left ribs. Notice the breath opening up the spaces between your left side body. Left nostril, left side of your ribs. Nothing to do, nothing to control other than feeling brilliant sensation of breath. Where does it go? Is there a pause at the end of the exhale? Maybe at the top of the inhale. taking in nature, taking in the gift of breath into your body. Maybe even taking in some more length of your spine and more desire of the collarbones to open and the ears to float over the shoulders, taking in all of it, finding peace. Now bring the hands over the heart, maybe stimulating the hands, stimulating the thumb pad, pulling back each and every one of your fingers, maybe into the left hand, giving touch sensation to anywhere that you need it, to the forearm, and then heel of the hand plants to the heart, opposite arm opens, hitch a ride with your thumb, and then maybe coaxing the tissue to give some space in there. And taking in breath, adding rotation into your spine, left hand plant, right arm reaches, maybe bending at the elbow and just being very heavy with your skull into your hands as you reach that elbow up to the heavens. Maybe taking out the bend of the elbow and just reaching. Lifting up the left hand and sensing the engagement of your core. Bending at the elbow, giving some determination, attitude, inviting the shoulders down, letting the heart lift so we can check into the other side. Revving it up. Pulling the thumbs, each and every one of those fingers back. Being curious as to where the tissue in your hands and the forearms need the love the most. And anywhere that is a little bit more tender, maybe create some indirect movement someplace else. Maybe moving and motioning the neck. And then hitching a ride with the opposite thumb. Adding that reach, looking around, checking in. So much of our time throughout the day is looking down, but today we're looking up. Planting the hand and maybe coaxing the heel of the opposite hand to open up that collarbone. Touching areas that need it the most. Opposite arm reaches, hand plants behind the skull, and reaching with that elbow point, and maybe breathing again into the sides of your body, out stretching the arm. And then as you unload, feel in the core. Nothing else matters if we can't find center with our breath and feeling this energy that lifts us up. And everything in our center is checking in to grab on to save the day, our body feels so much better. Our limbs have the freedom of our movement, interlacing the fingers, maybe reaching and flipping the palms. And eye gaze looks up, finding that length. And reaching on out. I'm going to floss my wrists, alternating from side to side, acquiring more space into those bones, and then maybe making my bend of the elbows and allowing the elbows to flare forward, and taking breath here as the heart space moves forward and the head moves back. And bringing the hands just to plant, just wander from side to side, feeling amazing in your body, in your breath. I'm going to move into quadruped position. In quadruped position, maybe using some blocks, maybe gripping all 10 fingers to pull back. And real important to corkscrew those arm bones into the sockets, inviting the shoulders down, tucking the toes under, and just finding length in our spine today as our heart space again moves forward in this position. And looking left, looking right, and all the way around, wanting to have happy movement in our neck, the way nature intended. Hovering the knees and coming into down dog. Rolling the shoulders down the back of the body, pedaling out the heels. Left foot lifts up, bend the knee, open up the hip, gripping all 10 fingers, keeping active energy into the hands. And maybe rebalancing that hip point and figure eighting it. Opening it out. Rolling the shoulders down the back of the body, rebalancing that hip point. And then opening it out. Gripping all 10 fingers back. Rebalancing the hip, left foot steps forward, dropping the knee but not the toe. Interlace the fingers behind the back of the body and lengthen your spine there, pressing the heel forward as you're more active in the ball mounded foot. Adding that reach, the right arm to reach and open. Oh, I feel raindrops. I thought I could escape the rain, but Sunset Park, what a treat to have this rain overhead, alternating sides from one side to the other. Breathe into the right side body, using that expansion of the breath to open up those spaces. And the left, being curious as to how we breathe is so important. Without the breath, not a good thing. It's such a beautiful thing to be able to slow down with just our breath, feeling sturdy in your plank, dropping the knees and the top of the toes. Let the heart center lead the way. Baby cobra, pulling all 10 fingers back here. Broadening the collarbones. I like to really wrap those triceps to the side of my body. Toes tuck under, finding knees, hips lift up. Push down to lift up into down dog. Pedaling out the footprints. Right foot lifts, bend the knee, open up the hip. Adjusting your sails anytime. making sure that you're feeling action underneath the armpits. Exploring around even when you're upside down. So cool being by water as it's rushing, rebalancing the hip, figure eighting it, and then opening it. Rebalancing the hip, figure eighting it, and then opening it. And this time, as we balance the hip, right foot steps forward, dropping the left knee, but not the top of the toes, interlacing the fingers. Really feeling that energy of the heel pressing forward as the ball mound pushes down and lifting on up. Adding that reach of the right arm. Breathing in, exploring, maybe touching how we breathe into the ribs. Reaching, lengthening. How do we breathe? How do we take in that rain overhead? Arms reach out. Both hands plant, stepping the back foot to come to the top of the mat. Interlace the fingers behind the body and just allow you to be ragdoll as you rest the top of the chest onto the thighs. And then finding that energy once again into the spine. Notice when you take an inhale, it's preparation for you to have something big happening your way, and coming to Tadasana, or your standing tall position, and closing the eyes, taking it all in, energizing those fingers, hooking those thumbs, adding a radiant reach up to the heavens. Left arm reaches, right arm down, side bend. Breathing in into this position, into the ribs. Switching. Breathing in. Soaking it up. Coming back tall and standing. Hooking those thumbs. Radiant reach, whether it's a good morning or a good evening, good afternoon, whatever it is, learn how to keep those curves in the low back space, upper back, and connecting into the feet. Fold forward, bending at the knees, hands plant, stepping back with the right foot, dropping the knee and the top of the toe this time. And as we press into the top of the foot, sensing how that connects, lengthening your spine, interlacing those fingers, opening it up, and then opening and bending at the elbows. Both hands plant, tucking the toe under, stepping back into plank, dropping the knees and the top of the toes, lowering down, baby cobra, pulling all 10 fingers back, toes tuck under, hips lift up, pressing down to lift up, down dog. Uh-oh, looking ahead, hopping, walking to the top of your mat, and we're getting rained on. How beautiful. How amazing. Good thing for trees. I'm going to find some shelter. Tune in. To be continued. Take 2. Let's come into your Tadasana. Taking in breath. Taking in amazing sensation of breath into your body. We're focusing on how the ribs expand, how we acquire spaces between each and every one of those ribs. And nostril breathing, flaring each of those nostrils to open. Arms lift up, hooking those thumbs, adding that brilliant reach sensation. Fold forward, hands plant, hopping or walking those feet to move into maybe baby cobra, keeping those elbows nice and tight against the body, or maybe upward dog, whatever feels good in your body. Explore, but feeling that breath in all the right places, flipping those dogs, hips lift up, and gripping those fingers. Left foot lifts, left foot steps forward, using the bending of the knees to hinge at the belly. High crescent lunge, adding that reach, opening it up, reaching it up, adding space into the ribs, breathing in, breathing out. Opening it out, side angle, back of your mat, opening, make it feel good. Warrior two, front of your mat, take it to the back of your mat, adding that reach, front of your mat. And this time, we're gonna take it to the back of your mat, and then sweeping into wide angle, interlacing the fingers behind the body, lengthen the spine, energy into those heels, big toe too. Make it feel good, stretching out the inner thighs, first to one side, then to the other. Both hands plant, lengthening into the spine. Finding breath. Bending at your knees, bending at your elbows, and just surrendering any control that you're trying to do. Just allow the breath to happen. And then taking the bending out of the elbows, coming to the top of your mat, crescent lunge, adding that reach. Left arm reaches, and we're stepping that back foot in, pushing demand into the ball mound of the foot, keeping the heel lifted, and taking it back, twisted crescent, lifting up that hip point, bringing it up, and then taking a bow. Notice what happens when you press into the ball mound of that foot, hinging from the belly, finding your Tadasana, standing tall, hearing music, a little dance break. How do we move? How do we breathe? How do we move? How do we feel with that air beneath our wings? Taking in sensation all around you. Hook those thumbs, reaching arms overhead. Fold forward, hands plant, hopping or walking, those feet back, lowering down, heart leads the way, maybe baby cobra with bent elbows, maybe extend those elbows, upward dog, but keep the heart reaching open. Flip those dogs, hips lift up, right foot lifts, right foot steps forward, bending that back knee so you can come into that high crescent lunge. Maybe hooking those thumbs, reaching, lengthening, opening, back of your mat, side angle. Warrior two, front of the mat, back of the mat, side angle. Warrior two. How does it feel to move and to breathe as we open it and landing it? Moving into wide angle, bending at the knees. Feeling that stretch sensation in the inner thighs as you wander to the front and wander to the back. What is going on in those footprints here as you lengthen the spine? Maybe this time putting more energy into the feet, more energy into that heart space as it lifts you up, goddess pose. Taking it in. So lucky to have this day, have this moment. So amazing. Never know what the day might bring. Twisted crescent, left hand down, adding that reach. Keeping the hip lifted versus slouching down. Using that breath, sliding the back foot in, pushing demand into the ball mound of the foot, maybe giving more length of your spine. Sliding it back into twisted crescent. Put demand into those feet. Put demand into the fingers, tips. We don't use enough of our extremities of our body. And then holding it through, hinging at the belly. And when we use our fingertips and toes, we bring even more life force into our body and more connection the way nature intended. Maybe dance break. Stopping the dance. Making it happen. Feeling good. Feeling good. To the right. To the left. And back. And front. And front. And back. To the front. To the back. It's Friday night. And everything is all right. One more sequence. Arms lift up. Adding that brilliant reach. Open it up. Fold forward. Hands plant. Hop it. Walk it. Lowering it with connection and control to your core, as well as your breath. Maybe upward dog, but make sure those bones are stacked. Big toes together. Knees grow wide. Find your child's pose. Maybe wandering that third eye from side to side. Feeling that breath touch upon the inside edge of the thighs. Find that expansion of the ribs opening. And closing. Almost as if you're fogging up a mirror, but with the mouth closed. Gripping all 10 fingers. Forearms are down. We're coming to our forearms down cow. As we grip the fingers, heart space opens, and then hover the knees. Sense what it feels like to lift up the knees and feel the core. And if not, reset, regroup. Use those fingers, covering the knees. Maybe coming into a dolphin but really dig those ball mounds into the ground and feel the shoulder blades invited down. Picking up the left foot, bend the knee, open up the hip. Maybe bending more of the right knee as you come into a funky dolphin. And rebend, bring the knees in, and then try it again. Using that breath sensation and lowering and lifting and lowering. And this time as we lift, rocket that dog, pressing down to lift up. Left foot steps forward, finding airplane arms, maybe using the hands on the shoulders. Press down to lift up into airplane. Maybe finding altitude. Coming at the top of your mat, find that balance. Closing your eyes. Using breath sensation to make those quivers happen. Landing the foot. Shake it out. Dance break. Woo! Wonder if we got that one. Arms lift up, hooking those thumbs, adding that reach. Fold forward, hands plant. Hopping or walking those feet. Upward facing dog. Or maybe baby cobra. Toes tuck under. Hips lift up. And then dropping the knees. Big toes together, knees grow wide. Child's pose. Feeling that breath. How can we connect into that breath to reach every single entity, every single one of the trillions of cells that make amazing you? Forearms down, gripping those fingertips, and then hovering the knees, finding the core, lifting into dolphin, and the shoulder blades down, the back of the body, and maybe rebending the knees, maybe setting yourself up to be a little bit more funky. The fingertips really line up to the opposite elbow, and maybe lifting up. Maybe taking a hop. Maybe adding an arm balance and bending at the knee, and then simultaneously extending. Right foot steps forward. Hips are nice and level. Light the shoulders down. Finding that airplane. Keep the spine long. Hinge from the belly button. Finding that balance. Closing the eyes. Challenging that balance each and every day. Breathe it out. And lift it up. Inhale, exhale. Inhale. Make it feel delicious. Find your Tadasana now. Feel that energy percolating from the head down to the toes. So amazing to be present in your body. So slow it down by just giving opportunity for your body to breathe. come onto your seat, or maybe a lying down position. If you're lucky enough to have a half roller, maybe stimulating your spine and giving your body some rebalance of your hips. Maybe you're wandering to the left. Maybe you're wandering to the right. But whatever it is, give your body that breath and sensation anytime that you need it the most. And when you're able, come on off your roller and just breathe. Palms face up, find your Savasana. Finding the brilliancy of your breath and your ability to simply be present. Giving your body this brilliant gift of just being. It's our birthright just to be. It allows our body to move, to be efficient, be connected with our breath, allows our bodies to efficiently move in brilliant ways to journey through life, sending energy and love from my heart to yours. Thank you for being kind to all beings, and especially yourselves. Namaste. Thank you. Have an amazing day.